And how is it going, everyone? Welcome to more I Wanna Be the Justice. Despite what I said yesterday, I really need to finish this game as soon as possible. I cannot really make it wait. It's that sort of stuff. As I yesterday said that I most likely will play something else because I wanted to, take a break from this hard needle, but it's gonna make things worse. If I make it wait instead of finishing this as soon as I can, it's just gonna make it worse. I'm just gonna delay it until I don't no longer care, So it has to happen now. Problem is if it can happen now, because I'm still being skill checked. That's something that no matter how much enthusiasm I could give to this game, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. But I will try, regardless of how painful it might seem. It has to happen. So I think that having enthusiasm is maybe even worse for those gate jumps at the top, since you have to do it very slowly. So having a lot of enthusiasm usually will mean that you are over jumping because you're pressing the button harder. But yeah, you gotta take it easier. It's hard to. The fact that I need to beat this today is something that I need to keep reminding myself. If I just let it last longer, it's gonna be worse. As soon as possible is the best time to beat this. As soon as I can. That doesn't mean it will be easy. I don't even know how hard the final boss could be, because every previous boss was relatively easy in terms of difficulty. But I can say the same about the platforming. Well, a lot of the platforming was actually challenging, but not compared to this. So I will assume that whatever the final boss is will also probably be way harder than the previous ones. But I don't know. I'm also not very sure how hard Carnival can make a boss. Like, he could make them very hard, or maybe not. I mean, the previous games that I played from Carnival didn't have super hard bosses, but Carnival has a lot of games that I didn't play. So, Well, for what I understand, Carnival does a lot of avoidances. So, I don't know. The avoidances could... I mean, it's a completely different story. It's a different mindset. And I still can't get past that mini spike gate jump. Hey Nasho, how is it going? Just here in a very hard section that I'm probably gonna be stuck for half an hour at least. I mean, half an hour today, because I obviously already got stuck here for half an hour yesterday, if not more. So yeah, it's okay. It's just natural. It's a natural occurrence. Or just eating breakfast, nice. Oh. I hope that I can at least progress a little bit before you finish the breakfast. Though I kinda doubt it. I wouldn't expect that. I just wouldn't. But it's fine. Just gotta take it easy. Hey, as much as I thought it was gonna be ridiculous to reach the 5-digit counter for deaths, I don't think it's that ridiculous anymore. At this rate, it's gonna happen. Okay. So here's the problem. This is kinda like the last champ. I mean, there are still 2 more champs on the right, but they are free assuming you don't choke. But this champ, I've been told that this champ is only slightly easier than a double diagonal. A double diamond. A double diamond is a very hard type of champ that is essentially 3-gate champs all together. Not like this, but like even closer together, right? Like one after the other. That's what a double diamond champ is. So I've been told that this is only slightly easier than a double diamond, so yeah, I guess YOLO. Yeah, it's gonna be rough because I will assume that you double champ here, but the angle that you have to land is so ridiculous. Like, it didn't look that hard when I first saw it, but upon closer inspection, and obviously also being based on Echo's comment, it's very hard. Don't be pressured much. No, I have no pressure. I mean, not yet. Like, if I'm at like the 2-hour mark and I'm still on this screen, at that point I will say that I will feel pressure, yes. But yeah, for now I'm not. But yeah, it might happen. I might reach the 2-hour mark or more and I'm still stuck on this screen. So yeah. It is what it is. I really wonder if I'm gonna choke this one. This doesn't look hard, well, not to mention there might be a trap here. I mean, the champ is just double champing and moving left, and the same here but moving right, but I'm worried that one of those is gonna be a trap. There is a high chance. I don't know. At this point, it's just very hard to tell what's gonna happen. I cannot predict it, and like what I can predict even less is what's gonna happen after this, assuming I get there. But that's okay. I don't know if playing without sound, if that's gonna help. I don't think it's gonna help. It's not like the sound is really bothering me. It's just that the dead sound is starting to bother me. I'm not sure why. Like, I'm feeling Mog. Well, I could try muting it, but I don't think it's gonna make any difference. But hey, at least by being muted, I can hear the beauty of silence. silence is such a bliss. It really is. Just fantastic. But yeah. I really think it might be for the best. But yeah, the music doesn't bother me at all. At least. So at this point I was more consistent at this gate champs, but no. The music is cool, but yeah, I think that I just want to be in silence for now. Just for a little bit. It could be cool. I mean, I could put my own music, but yeah, that will be even more distracting. Oh no. Not to mention that I don't like putting music that doesn't belong to the game in any game I play. The only exception was when I played one of the Champ King maps and when I played a game called Dust Force. That was an interesting game. Played it a long time ago. I did some checking in Shade Tool, and apparently the optimal align is nowhere in this save. Nice, that's pretty nice to know. Yeah, how is it going, Wasabi? It's okay. No, playing very intense music will definitely not help. Especially in a checkpoint where you are supposed to barely press the jump button. Playing intense music is a terrible idea. Well, in fact, if this level had intense music, I would have already muted it before. But this music is okay for this type of setting. So basically what you're telling me, Wasabi, is that the bottom spike champ is, you know, good luck. Though my question is, where should I double champ? Like, should I double jump to the left of this bottom spike, like here? Or should I double jump somewhere else? Though I don't think it's possible to double jump anywhere else. Well, maybe with a single jump you can make it here. But what's the optimal positioning for the double jump? I mean, I tried double jumping before the bottom spike, but unfortunately I got hit by it before I even got the chance to double jump. So yeah, that's funny. Very, very cool. Well, I'm here. Damn it. Just seems very, very hard to tell. How is it going, Malone? I don't know. I feel like I don't have the angle to get past the middle bottom spike on a single jump. I feel like I need to double jump before the spike. I mean, it has to be the case. Because even if I can get past the middle spike, I don't really have an angle to land on the right, so... Wait, hold up. One of those things that I think that it's better to do not while I'm standing, but while I'm in movement. Nice. I told you. Oh, you... This can't be real. Are you... This can't be real. Well... I'm a little bit disgusted right now, I gotta say. Not having any checkpoint here is... What were you thinking? I don't know what you were thinking, but nothing good. Clearly. Yeah. Well... Now I think I'm more convinced that this might not happen. It's already unreasonable. This checkpoint is very hard, but it's unreasonable to want me to do something else later. It seems like the net's best aligned to get. No, it's okay. At this point, I don't really care. I mean, thank you for the advice, but... I mean, having to worry about something afterwards... no. I think that... yeah. I wasn't expecting this at all, though, I gotta say. This actually makes me want to not play it. Like, this is completely unreasonable. Fuck. What a shame. I mean, I at least have plan B. So, it wouldn't be... I mean, I will have to set it up, I guess, but... Yeah, that's not reasonable, Carnival. Like, that's not reasonable at all. There's nothing reasonable about that. Well, at least I was able to beat this screen. I'm a little bit heartbroken right now. Like, that's such a betrayal. Like, as a player, I feel betrayed by the decision of not putting a checkpoint after this. It's... What were you thinking? You know, I just don't... I cannot imagine the world that I can beat this checkpoint. I just don't... Because there are 5 gate jumps afterwards. Not to mention the other jumps are not trivial either. So, yeah, I don't understand what you want me to do, Carnival, but you are out of your mind. This might... Well, it doesn't even make sense on hard mode either. It's just completely nonsensical no matter how you look at it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, especially considering the fact that no checkpoint is even close to as hard as this one. Jump too high. I really don't know how I did it last time, how I was able to get past that. I mean, it was just 2 very small jumps, but then, like, the second jump was fantastic. So, yeah. Well, it is what it is. least muting was the right strategy. It's what was able to get past this screen while muting, so I would say that was good. Absolutely nonsensical checkpoint. But at the same time, checkpoints like this are made for people like Echo. They are not made for people like me. Obviously, it's not like this is super easy for Echo, but Echo can beat this on a reasonable amount of time. I can't. This is the type of checkpoint that is not directed towards me. Not even close. What a bunch of bullshit. Well, I have not much more to say here, really. Not much more than what I already said. I might need to execute a plan B, I guess. I mean, feels a little bit of a shame to abandon this game, but it just seems very unreasonable, dude. It's just very unreasonable. It might be more than obvious, I guess, that this might be the last checkpoint in the game before the final boss. I mean, if it isn't, that will be a perfect reason to Alt F4. Well, if it worked. In these games you press escape, you don't press Alt F4. Well, in fact, I will test if Alt F4 works, but the window in this game you need to manually adjust it since it doesn't have native full screen, so I wouldn't want to do that again. But yeah. It does work, but escape also works. Well, I remember there being some fun games that I feel like I tried Alt F4 and it didn't work. But maybe I'm misremembering. I do know that Alt F4 doesn't work in all games. There are some games that you press Alt F4 and it doesn't do anything. Don't know why. There are some games where the reverse is true. It might be, but Alt F4 works but escape doesn't. I think that's usually the case on fun games that aren't made using Game Maker. Yeah, as you say, games that are made in other engines. It makes sense. After all, using escape to close a game, even though it's something that is relatively widespread, it's not really natural. Escape is the button for pausing or accessing a menu. Does I wanna be the guy have escape? I don't know. I can't remember because I played it 5 years ago, so I'm afraid I cannot answer your question. I mean, I could open it right now. I mean, it will be more interesting than trying to beat this, but well, the problem is that the sounds will overlap and that will be a little bit painful. Not to mention, I have no idea how my computer will react to opening that game. I mean, in theory, there shouldn't be an issue, but That's what the theory says. Didn't. Well, at least a good thing is that if I make 0 progress here, there's also 0 reason to even save this string. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times like I have very slow progress, well, like the one I'm having right now. So to me it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to upload a screen where I have slow progress. But if I have no progress at all, then there's also no reason to upload anything, so I think that's a nice thing to do. Well, got past this screen again, but see, here's the thing. I feel like this already opens up with something shitty. Like, this champ doesn't look that hard, but I don't think I can full champ this, right? Like, if I full champ, I die to the top spike, but I also need to have a decent height to get past the second one. Then what comes afterwards is basically a matter of getting past the 4 gate champs. Like, it's basically this champ and the 4th gate champs. It's just that one of them comes after a conveyor belt, but yeah. What? Okay, there is a dialogue. Apparently that light got trapped. Wait, really? Damn. So that's an interesting plot twist. So we don't need to do the 4 gate champs in a row. I just needed to do that one. That, by the way, I almost failed. Like, I did it there, but I think I did it by 1 pixel. That champ is not easy. That champ is not easy at all. It looks easy, but yeah. I cannot even say that I choked the first time because I didn't. It's just that challenging. Speaking of betrayal, what about it? Did I get betrayed or what? I mean, I don't know what the story of this game is, you know. Like, I thought I should fall into a trap, you know. Then I fall into a trap. I have no idea. It's okay. What Geometry Dash players will feel when they see this game? Nothing. Geometry Dash players don't play other games. They are pretty much like Gosu players. So, you know, the reaction will be non-existent. They will be like, wait, this isn't Geometry Dash, get me out of here. So yeah, that will be the reaction. They will associate it with Camellia 3. But is Camellia 3 popular over there? I mean, Camellia 3 is popular regardless, but how they will even know Camellia 3? I don't know. Well, I tried to see if there was something different in the sound, but there really isn't. I guess I can leave the sound on, but like really having no sound does wonders for focusing, so I will proceed to mute it again. I mean, after all, the song is the same, so it's not like I'm missing out. But I mean, it's a cool song, but I think I listened to it enough. Wait, isn't this one of those places where you can just fall from here, hold right and don't get killed? Though that didn't work as many times as I would expect it to work, so I don't think it's gonna work here either. Would be nice. Oh, it does work, okay. So at least that makes the part of going down, it makes it trivial. What's not trivial is the double jump. Camellia 3 is one of the most popular fun games, especially in the Geometry Dash community. I have no idea. All I know is that the Geometry Dash, like, my chat was at its worst when I play Geometry Dash. I think I haven't seen more annoying chatters in any other category. So yeah. I mean, that's saying something, considering that I used to play Touhou for a long time and the people there are something as well. But yeah. Communities like that. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's the problem when your community is so young. That's the reason why I put to my stream that only adults are allowed. I don't want to deal with kids. I fucked up. Why did I do that? But yeah, they are very annoying. Yes, of course. Same with Osu. Osu and Geometry Dash are two communities where the average age is most likely 12. Oh yeah, no thank you. It was because you were tired of dealing with immature people? Yeah. Well, that depends. What you mean, the age restriction? I mean, I just don't want kids in my chat, you know? Regardless of if they are behaving in an immature or a mature way, I don't want to deal with kids. You know? I just don't. I also don't want to check my vocabulary. I want to say whatever the fuck I want. And I wouldn't want someone that is young to hear what I say. Well, they probably hear worse stuff. I don't care though. I just don't want to deal with it. That's it. No, nothing more, nothing less. Damn it, that's the second time I died the exact same way. But yeah. Then again, it's not like I dealt with that many immature people. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I put the age restriction way before I even had to deal with any of them. But it's just a preventive measure. Like, dealing with kids is something you don't want to do. So, you know, I just don't want to even entertain the idea. So I don't want to deal with it. But yeah, that also doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to not have immature people, because obviously there are adults that are very immature indeed. Well, I am immature sometimes as well. But yeah, the point is that it's not a guarantee, but at least it takes a weight off my shoulders. Well, not really, because they could also choose, like, all they need to do is press a button. It's not like there is a guarantee they won't come, you know? the guarantee is never there. But hey, at least if a kid comes and, you know, says that they are a kid, I could ban them, and I also, you know, have the right reason to do it. Or not following Twitch terms of service. But yeah. All of us are immature sometimes. I mean, being immature is less about a state of being and more about actions, about what you do or what you say. If, for example, every time that I say "fuck you, Carnival, I hate you," or any other maker that I play their games of, that's a very immature thing to do. I still do it because I feel like it, but that's immature. You wouldn't want to talk shit the people that are making a game for free, that not only that, but you're also playing. But I will keep doing it simply because I feel like it. I'm not gonna bottle up my anger. If I want to talk shit about a creator, even if it's unjustified and immature, I will. But yeah, it is immature. You shouldn't do it if you want to, you know, not be immature. Also, how is it going, Coffins? Nah, it's never justified. These people spend their free time in making a game for you to play for free. The game can be shit or have a lot of flaws, so it's not shielded from criticism. But, you know, doing more personal attacks against the creator is obviously something that is not really criticism. That's just, you know, that's leashing out. You know, I'm sure that creators at this point understand that players are little bitches like me, and they will talk shit. So I'm sure they don't take it personal. Well, at least I hope they don't take it personal. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know these people. I don't even know their names. See, Carnival is not a name. So yeah, it's, you know, I'm a proud little bitch. Well, I don't know if I should say that I'm proud, but what I'm sure is that I will keep doing it, you know. Because, I mean, the alternative is just remaining silent for long periods of time when I get very pissed, right? I could do that, and it will be a smarter thing to do, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that same way, I am aware that if I finish the fun game I'm working on, there are probably gonna be people that are gonna shit talk. I need to also understand that it's natural. So I most likely won't watch anyone. But yeah. Well, I mean, I already don't really watch anyone that plays fun games. Well, except for BBF. I do watch BBF. That's because he's the best in the world in my favorite fan game, which is Boshi. How could I not watch him? But yeah. You're the only one who I watch plays I Wanna Be the Guy fan games. Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm usually not that much of a fan of watching something because of the category. I think the only exception is shoot 'em ups. I can watch anyone play shoot 'em ups. That's assuming I want to watch it, which a lot of times I don't. But aside from shoot 'em ups, I usually don't watch people per category. So yeah, usually the streamers that I watch are always the same ones. And they are already established. So as long as they keep streaming, I usually will keep watching. One of the 3 people I follow in Twitch. Nice. Well, I'm glad to be in your podium. I Wanna Be the Guy is the category I watch, as well as whatever other game I happen to be playing at the time. Yeah, I personally... The problem with watching I Wanna Be the Guy is that I don't want to watch games I haven't played, because I want to play them myself. Even if I'm not gonna do it anytime soon. Unless it's a game I don't plan on playing ever, like that needle game that I was mentioning the other day, that you needed to do 10 super hard needle jumps in a row to beat the game. I'm never gonna play that, so might as well watch it. But aside from that, I don't like watching games I haven't played, and I also don't really like watching games I have played. And that doesn't apply just for fun games, that applies to anything. It applies for any other game. I usually don't like watching games I I should say the opposite. I like watching games I don't play, precisely because I don't play them, so, you know. If they are a game I like but I cannot play either because of skill issue or no money or no good computer or no platform, because a lot of them are also console exclusives, well, I will watch someone play them. Which is the reason why my most watched streamers are iRacing players. With iRacing, well, the money aspect is obviously there, but there is the money aspect, the space aspect, and the skill aspect. I don't have any of that, or rather I don't want to invest in any of that. So I just limit myself to watching. It's pretty much the category I usually watch the most. I Wanna Be the Guy category has a lot of different fun games, yeah. Personally don't watch 3 streamers, I'm a full-on music nerd. I usually don't really listen to that much music. And also I usually don't tend to listen to new music. I tend to listen to the same shit I've been listening for like the past 10 years. You know? I mean, sometimes I try to give other things a chance and sometimes it works. But usually I should stick to my guns. Because yeah, I guess I'm not really that much of a music fan, so... If there is a song I know I like, I will probably listen to it a lot of times. Eventually I probably get tired of it and I switch to other music that I also end up getting obsessed with. But yeah. That last champ, well, it's pretty much the same champ as this one, just that you don't have an angle on the first. Shouldn't be that hard. I mean, shouldn't be that hard for me. It's not really hard, that's the problem. But yeah, that's how I do it. I also watch Trackmania streamers, and with Trackmania it's also because of a skill issue. I try playing Trackmania, and playing at the level that these streamers play is not possible. You will need to dump thousands of hours into the game, and I'm not willing to do that. I just watch streamers instead. But yeah. So those are, I will say, if you want to count categories, those are the two main categories I watch. But then again, I don't watch the categories themselves, I watch the streamers I follow from those categories. Yeah, I've been watching Deep Dip too. I've been watching streamers trying to climb that tower. I personally think that tower is absolute garbage, and whoever made it, well, the people that the person that planned it all is a sadistic asshole. But aside from that, yeah, I guess that watching people struggle with it, I mean, it's not that it's fun to watch the struggle, but it's fun to watch people being able to ace hard tricks. Like, it's very cool. Bren is gonna win. Well, Bren is the one that currently has the world record, and he's very close to the end. Well, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow I wake up to the news that he beat it, because he's almost there. But yeah, I think that I'm not really, well, I mean, it's interesting in itself to see who's gonna win, but to me, the most interesting part is seeing the players do all these hard tricks. Well, a lot of them are not very hard, but doing them in that environment really is something else. But yeah, I do think that the tower is absolute shit. Like, it sure took a lot of effort to build and all you want, but I think it's absolute crap. Terribly balanced and not fun to play for anyone that is not in like the top 10 worldwide. And even for them, it's probably not fun. It's just more about, you know, the fact that it's a challenge that actually gives you money. Well, money and obviously a lot of aim as well. So yeah, it's one of those things that watching it kinda gives me mixed feelings. Because I kinda don't want to support such a shit map, but then again, I'm supporting the streamers, not the map. By watching them, I mean. But yeah. I mean, needless to say, to me the first Deep Dip was better. It was still shit, in the sense that it's the kind of map that it's just not fun to play. At least it's more reasonable. But yeah, the second one is, to me, absolute garbage. If it wasn't for the competition and the showcase of hard tricks, it will have, well, that and the prize money, obviously, it will have, to me, no value. A lot of people also compare Deep Dip to Champ King, because it's a similar concept, right? You go up, and if you fall, you lose progress. But Champ King is a game that Wow, a corner champ, really? At least this checkpoint is not that hard. Well, I think that's only the second corner champ in the whole game, which is something. Because with all the overuse of gate and diagonal champs, this creator did not overuse corner champs somehow. I think maybe he just thinks that the corner champs are super hard. And I mean, he wouldn't be particularly wrong, but yeah. Anyways, I was out to say that Champ King is a game that is well balanced, all things considered. Like, sure, if you fall, you can lose a lot of progress and stuff like that. But it's developed in a way that everything makes sense. Obviously, I'm talking about the official maps. The fan-made maps, for the most part, are also garbage for the same reason that Deep Dip is garbage. Because it's basically like, look at how hard I am. I bet you cannot beat it. Yeah, pretty cool, bro. Call me when you can design a map properly. But yeah, the official 3 maps are very well done. Even Ghost of the Babe, for a very long time a lot of people told me that it was gonna be super hard and that you probably shouldn't waste your time in it or whatever. Like, aside from the bug, it's a very well designed map. So yeah. The corners are harder to use properly. Maybe, I don't know. I cannot really say that I'm a big fan of corner champs. So, I don't know. I haven't really seen that many in the fan games I played. I'm also so weirded out by whatever this guy conceives. Okay. I was out to say, I'm weirded out to what this guy thinks it's balanced. So you have a checkpoint like this that most people could do in a relatively reasonable amount of time. Well, I haven't tried this one yet. But for what I'm seeing, this looks super hard. So yeah, I don't know what's the concept of balance that this guy, you know, manages. But well, I don't think it's harder than the conveyor belt one, at least. But it's gonna be hard, and especially this stupid idea of not putting the checkpoint on the same screen and putting it on the previous one doesn't help at all. But it's okay. Not like it's the first one in this section that is like that. But yeah, these like pseudo F champs with mini spikes are gonna be super hard to do. And then I'm not sure about this thing. Like, you have to land here. It's just that afterwards you could double jump here. I will assume this is a trap, because this has no reason to exist. In the sense that if you can use this, why will you do this? Like, why will you do these 2 diagonals here when you can just jump up here? So something tells me this is a trap. It will be the most obvious trap possible. But yeah, a lot of fun games do that. Like, if there is an easier path that the player can access to, instead of blocking it, what they do is just put in a trap. It's basically like a relatively small champ into a full double champ. The issue is that relatively small champ, because if it's too small, it's not enough. But obviously, if it's too much, you're gonna die. But yeah. Good luck with that, I guess. You have to do that 3 times in a row, by the way. 3 times in a row. And then you have another F-champ. And the rest just looks like choke checks. Like this top row. Like, these are not hard champs, but you're probably gonna choke. Hey Kyle, how is it going? I'm still doing needle. But yeah. It's becoming an issue. Wow, that's not a trap, really? Yeah, as I say, those champs at the top are not hard, but the choking potential is always there. Well, not like this one is super easy though. Like these two, they are two very small champs, essentially. Like, hitting the ceiling is what you have to avoid. But yeah, it's a shame because it was a very good attempt. But yeah, well, at least I know that this here is not a trap, so you can do the rest without that much trouble. But yeah, these 3 mini spike F champs in a row are gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna be hard to be consistent. We will see though. For now, the only thing I can do is to keep trying. But hey, at least that's a lot of progress. Gotta look at the bright side. Hey, I just want to reach a boss, dude. I'm fucking tired of doing needle. Because I mean, it's the type of needle that is classic needle. You don't have any gimmick. Well, you have the conveyor belt gimmick, but yeah. That's gonna be very hard. This is one of those times that I really wish how much was left for the game to finish. So that way I can stop having the illusion that, yeah, next screen is the last one for sure. It will be nice to stop coping with that and actually know how much is left. Right now I'm also deluding myself into thinking that after this screen, like, the boss comes. but I already thought that like 3 times. So that's not good. Hey, it's fine. Fuck, I'm now failing that one. I don't know how I got it the first time. It didn't look that hard of a sham. There are some shams that you get in the first time by pure accident, but they are actually not that simple. Not as simple as you originally thought. It's fine. So seeing all this screen in black and white is, I don't know, like I don't know exactly. Well, I guess I can't do that anymore. Fuck, how did I do that? I can't believe that I'm actually struggling doing that. At least it's not green. Yeah, but I was out to say, like, I don't know what's wrong with this section, but it just feels super hard on the eyes. You know? We're getting buffering. Oh. I can't do anything about that. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that. First of June. Alright. I don't have any objections. I really would like to watch my VOD to see what the fuck I did there, because now I cannot do it a single time. Not supposed to be a hard jump, but I can't do it. I did it there. I mean, you can do 2 full jumps and it works, it's just that it barely works. And since you're holding left the whole time on your way down, when you land on the platform you're most likely gonna hit the spike. I'm just surprised I somehow did it on the first try. And it didn't even look hard the first time I did it, so yeah. Very nice. At least I'm glad I don't need to do the the double diagonal there, but yeah. Too early, damn it. I wonder if the easy mode of this game basically should nerf this entire section. I can see some sections on the previous levels being nerfed, like, I will keep repeating it, but like the underwater diagonal, I can see something like that getting nerfed. But for the most part, if you want an easier game, all you need to do is nerf this. Like, it's on this level that the difficulties... Well, like, that's the thing. The difficulty spike of this section is so high that it might as well be a different game. That's the thing, when the difficulty spike is so big, it kinda breaks the immersion of being in the same game. That's the reason why difficulty spikes, especially in fun games, are a very bad thing, because it just makes you feel that you're playing two completely different things. Like, the fun game doesn't feel like a whole thing all together, you know? Like, it might as well be two fun games glued together. So if you want your fun game to feel like a full game, having difficulty spikes like this is a horrible idea. I know that you can say that the original Iwana also had quite some difficulty spikes at the end, but the two biggest difficulty spikes of I Wanna Be the Guy are the final screen and the final boss, as you would expect. But here it's the entirety of the final section. Like, it's not just the final screen of the final section. It's from the very beginning. Not to mention that the whole style of platforming has nothing to do with the beginning of the game. In addition to the art style being different, well, yeah, the rest of the game in its majority use I Wanna Be the Guy, like the default tile set for the fields. And I know that these bricks, I'm pretty sure that they are also part of the default tile set, but at least he had the decency to color them differently. Same with the spikes. But yeah, like, this really has nothing to do with anything else in the game. Like, what I'm trying to say is that this part is completely out of place, and it will be either its own game or be part of a game where the rest of the game is like this, you know? But just showing this here is, in my point of view at least, extremely lazy. Because it really just feels like you made two different games and you thought to yourself, well, this thing here doesn't really... You know, it needs more to be considered its own game, so I know, let me put it at the end of this completely different game. And he did. But obviously he added then the cutscenes of the story and all of that shit, but this really has absolutely nothing to do with any of the first 7 levels. Now, I gotta say that it is better. It's better made than the first 7 levels, clearly. But, you know. Why did I go there? God damn it. My brain is not even working properly anymore. And I can't blame it. But yeah. Something that I was thinking about the other day is that it's pretty interesting how the majority of the size when it comes to a fun game folder, like the game itself, comes from the music in most cases. Because the game logic doesn't really occupy too much, and neither do the backgrounds for the most part. But music is something that even a very compressed song can a lot of times be 6 megabytes. You know, and 6 megabytes is, you know, not that much. But most fun games obviously have around, well, especially if they are adventure fun games, they tend to have around 10 songs. So just like that, you have 60 megabytes for free. That's why most modern engines have a music in a folder instead of the regular game maker file. Well, I don't know if in my case that's gonna be the case. But yeah, the thing is that that's where it comes from. Well, there can also be a game that has a lot of complex animations and shit like that. But even something like that tends to not compare that much to the amount of size that songs occupy. And that's obviously not to mention if someone somehow decides to use uncompressed audio. So you know that I told you that 10 songs will be around 60 megabytes, assuming they are compressed. Well, uncompressed songs could be 60 megabytes. Like the song itself could be 60 megabytes. Yeah, pretty nice. Or a 30-minute extension of the song. Well, there is also that a lot of times, since some makers don't want to deal with looping. Instead of doing that, they just make a very long version of the song. So that way, it eventually loops, but by the time it loops, it's not that jarring, because it happens only once in a while. But yeah, very, very cool to have something like that happening. But yeah. Otherwise, fun games will be very small in size, like very small. Like a fun game without music, even if it has a lot of logic, will probably be 10 megabytes, and sometimes, depending on how the engine optimizes the compiling, it could be even less. But yeah, that's assuming you put no music at all, which is not really a good idea. I always say it, and I will keep saying it, the most important thing of a game is obviously gameplay, and nothing comes close. But the second most important thing is the music. And then, well, the music and the sound design, like sound effects, you know. The sound, in general, including music and sound effects. That's the second most important thing in a game. And then everything else is absolutely very, very secondary. Well, tertiary mostly, since the music will technically be secondary. But yeah. Music and the sound in general is very important, so having a fun game without it is a bad idea. But a fun game or any game, not a good idea. That's also part of the reason why. Well, the main. I was out to talk about Atari games. Atari is a console that is a piece of garbage, and so are like 99% of the games in it. And that usually is just because the gameplay is shit, especially compared to the arcade counterparts. But in a lot of the Atari games, there is no music during gameplay. You just have the sound effects that obviously are the most primitive shit imaginable. So yeah. But hey, console gaming had to start somewhere, obviously. But it was a rough start. Very, very rough. I guess we can thank Nintendo for that one, for getting us out of there. But if it wasn't Nintendo, it would have been someone else, but yeah. Gotta thank them. Eventually, past times best forgotten lest we fall into the gutter of quality yet again. Yeah, like of the whole Atari library, that is probably like 2,000 games. 2,000 games ignoring copies. Because you know that the Atari is full of bootlegs that are the exact same game with a different color palette. But yeah, you probably have around 2,000 unique games in the Atari, of which only like 10 are decent. And maybe 1 or 2 you could consider good. And that's a stretch in it. So yeah. Like the decent ones I could mention are, well, I always mention the same one, but like Enduro, Sequest, River Raid, Space Invaders, Hero. I don't think you have much more than that. I don't think there are many more than that. There are probably a couple more, yes, but for the most part, aside from those, the rest is forgettable. Well, forgettable. It's just garbage. The fact that it's forgettable is a result of it being garbage. But yeah. Because you also have games like Pac-Man in there. But the thing about Pac-Man is that the arcade version is obviously superior in every single way. And that applies to any game, essentially, that is on the Atari that comes from arcade. Any game like that is way better on the arcades. But yeah. The Atari is a piece of garbage, indeed. Well, the Atari and any console from that generation, which most of the times even were Atari modifications, you know. But yeah. Eventually someone would have definitely done the same thing that was done in our current timeline, which is making arcade components something that can be purchased at home by, you know, a reasonable price. Which is pretty much what consoles like the Dreamcast are. Like the Dreamcast is one of those consoles that it's super similar to the arcade equivalent, which is the Sega Naomi. That and the Atomis Wave, I think. But yeah, at that point, arcade was pretty much something that you could play at home. That's cool. But even before that, the NES and the NES and Super Nintendo generations are decent in terms of their transition from arcade to console. Well, not to mention that you have things that you cannot experience on arcades. One of them, funnily enough, being turn-based RPGs. Which I'm not a fan of. But it is one of those genres that only saw the day of light properly on home consoles. So yeah, good luck playing an arcade game for 10 hours on a single credit. Yeah, surely that's a good idea for the arcade owner. You gotta be grateful that games like Dungeons and Dragons exist. You can probably get like an hour and a half run on a single credit, assuming you are good. But yeah. Other than that, length is not what arcade games were known for. So that's when console came to the rescue. If you want a long adventure, you gotta get a console. Too early again, damn it. But yeah, the point is that we got it good when it comes to video games. We got it very, very good compared to how it would have been. I wish I could say the same about this playthrough. Okay, unfortunately I'm getting skill check very hard right now. Getting skill check very badly. Because you can see the parallel with Echo. Echo played this a day after I streamed it for the first time, and he beat it in 2 days. Well, and saying 2 days is an exaggeration, because he beat it in pretty much one stream and a little bit of the other one. So yeah. With that sort of thing, you can see that I'm being skill checked right now. very badly. But yeah, it happens. Damn it, dude. Can I get out of the needle? Can I get some break from the needle? I will appreciate it. Maybe deciding to make a needle game wasn't the best idea. But yeah, making bosses is hard, bro. Fortunately, making bosses is quite hard. So, yeah. Or maybe it was, since you can make a better game than this. I hope I can. But yeah. I mean, everything can look pretty nice in these development stages, where I should play like the stages once or twice to beat them once they are done. But when I actually need to play the whole game from scratch, it will be a different story. I wouldn't discard having a similar feeling than the one I'm having when I play this game, which is my biggest fear, but it most likely will happen. But yeah, it's okay. At least needle enthusiasts might like it. I mean, there are a lot of people that think highly of this game, so maybe some people will also think highly of mine. Maybe. Hopefully. That's the second time that same stupid ass mini spike kills me. That's a shame. But yeah, I guess I cannot underestimate that one mini spike. You're going out by 30 minutes? It's okay. I mean, you don't need to tell me. I'm not gonna get mad for if you leave, so don't worry about it. You can come and go at any time, at any moment. You don't need my permission. But hey, good luck with class. Hopefully it's not too tiresome. I mean, by the time you come back, I'm probably gonna still be on this screen. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. God damn it. It's alright. But yeah. I'm dispatching assassins. Yeah, that will be something. That reminds me. Apparently today, the Congress here increased their salary again. and they get paid a lot. So I wonder what day, maybe it's never gonna happen since indeed it happened in any of this time. I don't think it's gonna happen, not to mention that a lot of people will probably have a lot to lose, but I wonder when someone is gonna murder the whole Congress. I really wonder. Basically, I mean, a known parade of morons that are constantly shitting on us, and they even have the guts to increase their salary to an unbelievable amount. What they gonna do with that money? I don't care what they do with that money. All I know is that they don't deserve it. They could do anything they want with it. I don't care. All I care is that they shouldn't earn that much. They shouldn't even be close to earning that much. Or if they are gonna earn that much, the rest of the population should have way higher salaries. But see, here is the thing. When the minimum salary in the country is pretty much equivalent to around like 30, or well, the opposite. When a Congress salary is the equivalent of 30 minimum salaries, some heads have to roll. Like, that shouldn't be acceptable. Like, there have to be heads rolling. But yeah, it's understandable that a lot of people have a lot to lose to do that. But man, if they don't deserve it, the Congress, I mean. What do you expect by electing an economist? It has nothing to do with whoever is the current president. The Congress and the politicians here in general, and in most parts of the world I guess as well, are known for being shameless thieves. So anyone can be the president and it's not gonna change that. It's always been the case without exception. So yeah. When will heads roll? But unfortunately the answer is never. In fact, my head is probably gonna roll before them. If I don't do anything out of the ordinary, it shouldn't, but I mean, here people that don't deserve to go also go out all the time. A lot of times also for political reasons. So yeah. No one's brave enough to roll their heads. No, I'm not talking about rolling my own head. I mean that someone does that for me. Because it already happened. There have been people here that have been politically assassinated, you know? I mean, I'm not saying that will happen to me. I'm just saying there is a higher chance that that happens to me than it happens to a corrupt politician. Oh yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, I despise politicians a lot. At least the ones in my country. The worst, useless, corrupt, and evil garbage you can imagine. I mean, they are probably worse in some other countries in the world, but yeah. That's not a good thing. Just talking about the situation here. An angel with a shotgun. Nah. The people that have to do that are the people that are constantly being shit on. Which is basically us, the poor fucks that work every day. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. And it's also, you know, I'm not absent of fault. I mean, it's also my fault for not doing anything about it. But yeah, it is what it is. But you know, I guess I can at least complain about it. I guess it's better than saving it inside you. But yeah, you just need to remember that the politicians here earn around 30 times the minimum salary. And it's probably that case in many parts of the world too. It shouldn't. And in the remote case that they deserve to earn that country better be the best country in the world. And I can tell you this one clearly isn't. So yeah. The shoot 'em up skills. I'm pretty sure that the average corrupt politician has better in real life shoot 'em up skills than I do. You know? I mean, it's pretty much known that a lot of the people that are there in Congress are leading mafias, you know? So I'm pretty sure that they have better skills at doing IRL shoot 'em up. You know? So yeah, I don't think I'm a match for them. Well, I don't think any of us is a match for them. It's just very tiresome. That's all I can say. It's just tiresome. But you know, such is life. It's one of the many unfair things. But it happens. What can you do? I really would like to see if there is a country in the world where their people don't want to absolutely murder their politicians. Because I'm thinking of examples of countries that you could think of as wealthy, like the USA, you know, Canada, England, to give random examples. I'm pretty sure that a very big portion of people in that country hate their politicians, and for a good reason. So yeah. The real question is, which country doesn't? I don't know. Well, at least I still have the right to be able to talk shit like this and not be murdered in the spot, which other countries don't really have such an ability to do that. So I gotta be at least grateful for that. But more than being grateful for that, I should instead be disgusted by the fact that you cannot do that in some countries. What's funnier is that we got a king here and some politicians have mocked them. Well, if you want my we don't have royalty here. Well, in fact, the whole point of our first revolution was getting rid of the Spanish royalty. The point is that royalty deserves being mocked, in my opinion. Royalty has no place in the modern world. Like, I think that the existence of royalty is a mockery of you know, like a mockery of society in general. Royalty being a thing still in some countries is... I imagine people being... Well, I guess saying what I'm about to say, you will say that yeah, that already exists, but imagine being wealthy for the sole fact of belonging to a family. Now, obviously, that already happens with most millionaires, but the thing is that at least some of those millionaires had to at least work for it in one way or another. Not all of them, but some of them. The royalty didn't. The royalty is just their lineage, what gives them their wealth. How is that allowed? It shouldn't. Not in this day and age. And much less in countries that supposedly consider themselves civilized, like England, for example. How does England still have a royalty is beyond me. How their heads haven't rolled yet is also beyond me, but yeah. It's okay. I mean, in a lot of cases you can just say that politicians are, might as well, they are an extension of royalty. But hey, at least theoretically they are there because they got voted. Theoretically. Yeah, the royalty is theoretically there because they were born that way. That's the fucked up part. As a concept, regardless of later the practical implications, you know, conceptually it's already wrong. Head rolling is a French invention. I guess you could say that. Yeah, maybe people in England are not very fond of you know, behaving in a French way. But yeah. It's okay. I'm just, you know, thinking of random stuff to distract myself from this stupid ass screen. But yeah, don't think too hard about it. We need to bring back public executions. I find it hard to disagree with that. As long as the ones on the receiving ends are politicians and or journalists. I think that will be acceptable. very easy to abuse of those systems. So yeah. Unfortunately, the best thing to do in this type of situations is to not think too hard about it. Which obviously in turn makes the problem worse. But, I mean, as I say, the other solution is throw your life away and you know, do it yourself. But yeah, most people are obviously not gonna do that, myself included, so yeah. It's someone to test the guillotine. You could say it that way. But yeah. My hatred for the politicians in this country is very high. Very, very high. And most people hatred for politicians here is also high. There is a bunch on YouTube. No, I think that it's something that has to happen naturally. Like, if heads roll, it has to be in the hand of the common people. It has to be a whole paradigm shift. But yeah. But you know, with how much failure that there has been politically in my country in the past decade, and the fact that, you know, parties that have nothing to do with each other have won, maybe one day people will be fed up and will just take action. Because you know that for the time being is the usual, you know, blaming your least favorite party. When that happens, obviously nothing gets done. Close. If people start realizing that no matter what party they belong to, they will still screw you, and especially people that have nothing to lose, maybe something will happen. I don't know. Hard to tell. Maybe not. You also have to take into account that half the population in my country is poor. I feel like eventually those people have to get fed up with constantly being shit on by every single government that wins. I will assume that eventually their patience will reach a limit. I mean, how the economy, where the economy is heading, Wouldn't be surprised if I was considered poor at some point in the near future. Just that the definition of poor is a little bit hard, because it depends on your standards. Like, for example, if for you someone poor is someone that earns less than a specific amount, then probably 95% of people here are poor. Myself included. But I don't think most people consider that poor. I mean, in my case, I personally consider poor anyone that cannot satisfy their basic needs because they don't have the money for it. That is eating, sleeping, you know, all that stuff. But for a lot of people, being poor is bigger than that. Like it is when, for example, you cannot purchase a single luxury item, or like you can only purchase one luxury item in a very long period of time. For a lot of people, that's also being poor. So I don't know. Hard to tell when someone is poor. For a lot of people here, I wouldn't be surprised if they would consider me poor if they knew what I earn. I don't consider myself poor. I feel like considering myself poor will be an insult to poor people. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone's standards is different, I guess. But yeah, having the time to play video games in my free time, you know, I don't think you can consider something like that poor. Well, or you could, but I think it will be wrong. Hey, that's also seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. Even in countries, in wealthy countries like the USA, the number of poor people is increasing. Did you manage to get automatic running? Yeah. It's just that I got it running in a non-acceptable speed, so it's the same as nothing. So yeah. I wouldn't say that I wasted my time, because at least I know that I can do it. So if sometime I get a better PC, I could, but yeah. How was the speed? Bad. 1 minute and a half for like 512 by 512 image. So yeah. Basically, as I said, unacceptable speed. But that's not because I installed it wrong or anything like that. It's simply because my video card is not good enough. So I expected much worse. Well, it can be much worse, assuming that it doesn't use my video card and it uses my processor. In which case, yes, it can go up to 10 minutes, assuming you even finish it. But yeah. I expected better, really. But hey, I guess if you're not an Nvidia user, you are destined to eat shit. So yeah, I guess I am destined to eat shit until I become an Nvidia user again. But yeah, not really have it in my plans yet. So yeah. But the only advice I can give you is get an RTX. Well, you probably already have it. But if you have an RTX, especially RTX with a high video RAM count, you should be fine. You also have to take into account that that's gonna wear out your CPU a lot. So, yeah. And that also, I was offered an RTX laptop but declined. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend a laptop in any circumstance, but I was about to say that. What was I about to say? Yeah, that the other day I saw that apparently the Nvidia stock value is higher than the economy of multiple countries. Very funny how economy works. I mean, it makes sense when the demand is so high and it keeps rising, but damn, dude. It's like, shouldn't the economy have something to make sure this is not the case? Like at this point, Nvidia, if they wanted, they could, if they wanted and they had any reason to, they could make their own country. We'll just call it, I cannot think of any smart name, but they could just do their own country. Apple is valued at more than the GDP of 97% of the countries in the world. Yeah. Yeah, Apple is another giant that is quite messed up. It's just that with Apple, I don't really give a shit because I'm never gonna purchase an Apple item. So the fact that their value is so high as a company, which means their prices will remain high, I don't give a shit. Because I will never purchase an Apple product, so I don't care. But with Nvidia, I do care, because my idea is buying an Nvidia video card, but if they keep becoming this valuable, they obviously have no reason to make them cheaper, so it's gonna be hard. But yeah, buying an AMD video card is never a good idea. Don't ever think of doing that. Like, if you think it's cheaper, you will be wrong. You will end up paying for it one way or another. Even if it's not with money. RTXian. Yeah, I was about to say that Nvidia is already a good name for a country. But yeah, it's fucked up, dude. It's one of those things that just, it sounds very demotivating, you know? But yeah, it's whatever. Just gotta do your own life. Gotta learn how to ignore this type of things, even if it's hard. Limit, dude. I don't know why, but something tells me that if I somehow make it to this final drop, there's gonna be a trap somewhere here. Actually, you know what? You wanna bet? I could bet. If there is a trap on that drop and it manages to kill me, I think it's a very good idea to just uninstall this game. You know? Like, I think that at that point, I will just be way too offended to keep playing this game. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, in order to know that, I first gotta make it there, and that wouldn't be happening, so yeah. Oof. I really wanted to see the boss today, dude. I really wanted to. I have my doubts. I don't think it's gonna happen. What a pain in the ass. Also, I've been testing that game that I was mentioning the other day, Hang On, the classic Sega arcade game. And it's pretty crazy to me how in platforms like Twitch, nobody gives a shit about games like that. Like, if you go to those categories and see the amount of followers, I mean, I understand that there should be a category like STG shoot 'em ups for arcade racing games. But the fact that there isn't one sucks, but I'm surprised because these games, well, that's the thing, they were big back then, doesn't mean that they are big now. Even games like Outrun that are still more or less relevant, they are just small games now. In terms of popularity, they should remain back there in time. And yeah, games like Hangout are also the game. Sorry, Hangout. I mean Hang On, not Hangout. But yeah, Hang On. Well, it also doesn't help that it's the type of game that the last release was for the... Actually, for what console was it? I think the Sega Saturn. The last Hang-On game was for the Sega Saturn. So it's not a surprise that nobody will give a fuck. Oh yeah, not much you can do there. Hey Yannick, how is it going? I'm just here struggling for a change. Don't worry too much about it. So remember to let me know this Saturday if you are available to test against Tokyo Defenders or not. Like, just DM me. I mean, I will DM you too, but just let me know. Saturday should be good, okay. And will it be good to also play it? Like on stream time, or is that something that will have to be another day? was thinking about something, but it's a terrible idea. So if you already acknowledge it's a terrible idea, I'm a little bit scared. I'm trying to beat the game because everything is unlockable. Okay, I don't even know if I have the save file. I will assume I do. Unless the save file is inside the game, which I hope not. But... well, if the save file is inside the game, it's probably lost forever. Because I uninstalled it a long time ago. But yeah, that's something I don't know. Unless I somehow had the idea to back it up. RBO co-op with you, Yannick, and Kyle. What, you mean Ragnarok Battle Offline? That's not a game I would like to play on co-op. That's a game I will want to play on my own. I mean, it's a cool game, but I wouldn't want to play that co-op. Not to mention that playing it co-op will require port forwarding and all that shit. And no thank you. Well, doesn't have to be port forwarding, but it requires a VPN. So yeah, not very fond of that. No one will heal your ass. Well, that's kind of the idea, that you are on your own. So yeah. It's local, so Parsec works. Well, I haven't used Parsec yet, though I will assume that for Gensokyo Defenders we most likely will have to use a Steam Remote or whatever, I don't know. I will assume that if there is a working online there, it will be shit. But yeah, I don't know, it's something we will have to test with Yannick on Saturday. So I don't even know how the co-op game, the co-op mode works, because wouldn't you also play the levels in the main story, or what is it about? Like, what do you even do? Like, you just play levels that are individual that you should select, or what? Because if you play the whole story, wouldn't it be better if you don't beat it? I mean, I already beat it, I guess, but I could also start on a clean save. I don't know. I only saw a stage select. Yeah, I thought that was how it is. Like, I don't think you can play the story co-op like you can do it in Resident Evil, for example. So yeah, I guess at that point, yeah. It will make sense. Wow, really? But yeah, I'm still thinking of what to play eventually with Yami when he is available to play co-op. I still have no idea what I could possibly play with him. So considering that we are not gonna play Streets of Rage 4, maybe I could tell Yami to play that. Or maybe I could take Clone Cat to play. I guess I also don't know what to play with Clone Cat. Gachi Heroes? No, I think I will pass. Besides, I think he Judging by what he shared the other day in Discord, I think he's more into, you know, he's more into cows than bulls, you know. I can't believe that game exists though. The reason why, no, yeah, as we can't, but no, like that one game that Yami shared on Discord, I don't remember the name, but one of the reasons why it's valued so much is because the artist that made the animations is Asanagi. Very known for its for his manga. So yeah, I guess people on the degenerate side were waiting for something like that. Goddamn. But yeah. What can I say? I mean, regardless of the... No, don't give me anything if it's possible. And I was out to say, regardless of the moral stuff in that game, I'm also, like, I don't find like attractive that sort of exaggerated figure. Like at some point it's just absurd, you know? Looks like a parody more than something that is supposed to get you going. But yeah, not my thing. Asanagi drew one called Ragnarok Online Dishay. Well, if it's called Dishay, surely it's just a very innocent manga about music, right? Surely. But yeah. But I still find it funny. I forget about that guy. That guy is a full-blown degenerate. But the funniest thing, there is a guy that goes by the name of Nanashi. That just like Asanagi is a turbo degenerate. With the exception that one day he decided to start drawing a romantic comedy, mostly known as Nagatoro. So the fact that someone like him made a manga like that, it's something. Very nice guy. Time to go. All right. Have a good morning, Nasho, and thanks for hanging out. As I told you, I was gonna get stuck here, and I'm still stuck here. To nobody's surprise. Yeah, funny Nagatoro. But yeah, the same guy that made Nagatoro did a lot of very interesting stuff. You could look it up. You can look up what he did. I mean, I personally think that series like Nagatoro are garbage. But yeah, when you look at the stuff he did, it makes sense. You know? Like, an artist that does stuff like that trying their hand at something that is supposed to be more innocent. Like, yeah, dude. No. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot do it. I'm just saying that... Yeah. It's no wonder that my first thought was this is shit. Because, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like having Toriyama. Well, he cannot draw anything anymore. But if he was still here, it's like making Toriyama draw a rom-com. Yeah, surely that's gonna go well. And it's for completely different reasons. But yeah. Some people are just good at some very specific stuff. And Toriyama was very good at drawing action, machines, and, you know, conveying power in a page. He was very good at that. I will watch Toriyama rom-com. Well, I will out of curiosity too, probably. But yeah. The chances of it being good are almost null. I cannot get past the third one, it seems, even though it's the exact same as the first one, but I just cannot do it. Just cannot happen. But yeah, Toriyama wouldn't be a good rom-com mangaka, that's for sure. At least the good thing is that Asanagi knows his place. Asanagi knows he's a degenerate, so he works in degenerate shit. Okay. Let me unmute. But what, I mean, until I see a checkpoint, I don't care. Yeah, man, it looks like there is so much garbage here that could potentially kill me. But it won't. Alright. Well, we got past the needle. And here comes the boss. So at least I was able to see the boss today. That's cool. There is dialogue, obviously. A lot of it, in fact. Okay. So we have this light. Is this gonna be the final boss or what? This light really likes talking. Holy shit. For being a light, you sure have a big mouth. Okay, well, now you're no longer a light. Also, why am I fighting a devil? Am I not a devil myself? Here is that one boss everyone knows from Camellia 3. Well... Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I just like the title of the game. Surely. How is it going, Yami? Oh, and having the Mega Man vs. Zero song from Mega Man, it's 5. Very original of you. And by that I mean non-original at all. But hey, that goes in pace with the rest of the game. Yeah, don't worry, Kyle knows that. Kyle knows quite a lot about Mega Manets. So yeah, don't worry about it. But the hardest attack seems to be this one, since it forces you to move a lot. Though, if this guy doesn't have a second phase, I don't see how this even is considered the final boss. So I will assume he has a second phase, which means that I should get good at dodging this consistently. So otherwise we're gonna be in trouble. This attack is so shit you can just stand still and dodge it. I forgot about that, god damn it. I also want to see how much iframes he has. Okay, I thought he could have more, but he has a... I mean, it's not as exaggerated as some of the other bosses, at least. He did that attack twice in a row, I think. But yeah, that attack is clearly the most annoying one. Especially when he combines it with other attacks. This one is an absolute show. I mean, you might as well not put anything there. I guess I gotta be grateful, because that means that it's obviously gonna be way easier. But yeah, the real issue is that attack. Because it's one of those attacks that only triggers exactly where you are. It doesn't trigger close to where you are, it triggers where you are. So you have to be fast at reacting. Well, and not to mention that some of these combinations are extremely rough if that attack is active. No, not enough. Not enough room to dodge on the wall. But yeah, this is just one of those bosses that you need to get lucky. It's one of those bosses where the RNG is completely unchecked, so you need to get lucky and that's it. So I will wait to get lucky, no problem. I mean, with I wanna be the guy bosses, I'm already used to that, so... Oh wow, I fell. You don't want to fall down there. There doesn't seem to be any benefit to fall there in the first place. That was fucked up. I ended up falling all the way here, but it's okay. So, just realize that the bullet spam is constant at some point of the fight. Alright. So what are we gonna do here? Well, the second phase as expected. To nobody's surprise though, the question is, will there be a checkpoint? And the answer is, I don't know. Maybe not. Oh wow. And there is no checkpoint indeed. Well, this is gonna take a long time. I expected as much. I'm not surprised. This is gonna be painful because the first phase is so RNG heavy. Very, very RNG heavy. Well, and the second one is probably also RNG heavy, but whatever. Yeah, keep spamming that one. I had to open my mouth. The purple dot in the center is the only part where the boss can take damage, so if you're below the two platforms, you can't hurt it. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the second phase. Well, thanks for letting me know. That will be useful. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, no worries. I will try to remember it. Or more than remember it, I will try to do something about it. This bullet spam is very messed up. Maybe after all, being at the bottom here might be useful after all. Because being at the top there, I'm being very limited. It's just I would prefer being at the top. Alright. Or you can choose to skip right away. I don't know if skipping right away is even a good idea, considering that you don't get teleported. So the issue here is being able to hit this asshole. Yeah, like hitting him will, well, dodging that is also hard, but seems like hitting him will be the biggest challenge after all. It's been a while since he used this attack somehow. I almost forgot about it. That's pretty much the biggest issue of this fight. Because when he combines it with other attacks and the bullet spam when he reaches half health, it's almost impossible to do anything about it. It's such a messed up attack. But yeah, it is what it is. Came too slow, really? Now, the question is if I want to try hard this tomorrow. Because I'm most likely not gonna beat him today. I mean, it would be perfect if I could beat this guy today, but I kinda doubt it. It should be possible, but unlikely. I don't think I have much more to say about this boss. It's basically just getting lucky a lot. Getting lucky that this dog shit attack that splits the cherries doesn't happen on the second half of the fight. But yeah. It's gotta get very lucky. I messed that up though, I still survived. Am I even hitting him? Oh, I am. I did a good amount of damage though. I have no idea what this guy will possibly do when he reaches half health. It's a shame that I don't think he will let me see the other attacks. Or I wonder if he will, actually. Yeah, actually you can. It seems that... I mean, all of the attacks that I've seen so far on this phase don't look particularly hard. It's basically the choke potential that it's always there. But yeah, at the same time, he most likely has something when he reaches half health. I landed into the cherry. I have a feeling that it will be a huge pain in the ass to leave this boss for tomorrow, because like I feel like this is the kind of boss that I will easily beat within the first 10 minutes of another stream, so I would like to do it, unless he has a third phase. If he has a third phase, it's a different story. Hopefully it doesn't reach that. Would be nice. It would be so nice to get so lucky. Well, I got killed anyways, but he does the same attack over and over again and nothing else. Also, I was out to say that we were talking about Yannick about against Tokyo Defenders. You know that game? I played it on stream a long time ago, but I never uploaded it to YouTube. And I don't even know if I have it saved on Twitch. I might not even have it. So that's interesting. I guess The playthrough with Yannick will be the first time that it makes it to YouTube. Yeah, lost knowledge. You can say that. But yeah, I wonder if I probably played it like 4 years ago. I don't know if 5. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass to check if the highlights are there on Twitch or not. But I do know that they are not on YouTube. On YouTube, it's not there, so that at least means that we're gonna have some quote-unquote new content. So you wouldn't see the cutscenes, I guess, of the story mode, but that's okay. Why did I do that? Something that I didn't notice, and I'm noticing now because I'm seeing it more clearly. Like, the kid is holding the gun in a diagonal. I forgot to skip, god damn it. If you don't skip, you have to see the whole dialogue. Well, you can skip it in the middle, but not while the dialogue windows are happening. But yeah, the thing is that I don't know if it's this particular sprite. It might only be this particular sprite, but the gun is pointing upwards. So it looks like he's not even using the gun to shoot, which is quite silly. Okay. Definitely looks that way. Damn it, that was close. Hey, for what I understand, the regular sprite of the kid has the gun pointing horizontally. I think that this is some custom sprite shit. Unless my memory... Well, I mean, my memory is dog shit, but I don't think it's that dog shit. Yeah, it chooses this sprite. I was saying, yeah. Yeah, the regular sprite has it pointing horizontally. A little bit of a weird decision to do that, but I guess it is the way it is. You're really a fan of this attack, aren't you? Yeah, no, I didn't forget to press the start stream. That's for sure. I never do. That doesn't seem like the optimal way of doing this at all. Hey, it works. That attack is so ass. Very ass. Shouldn't have double jump. actually been a while since I got to the second phase, so maybe I cannot do this today. Well, at least if I do it tomorrow very soon, I can always... I can just play Hang-On. Yeah. Because I feel like a game like Hang-On, or any arcade game of that style, it's better to play it on its own, not on its own stream, but on a stream with another game. Because dedicating a full stream for a game like that seems like a not so smart idea. Even if the game is hard and I probably won't beat it in one stream, it feels like it's better to have something else. Yeah, I could definitely stream that. Didn't trigger. The thing about these bosses is that they kinda force me to focus. I mean, if it was a boss with a specific order for its attacks, I could just look away at any moment, but this sort of asshole that is constantly doing different shit because it's random. I don't know if I can split my attention that easily. I guess that overall, actually, you know that I said before starting playing this game that this game was rated relatively high in terms of difficulty, that in the hard parts that I could get stuck, I would just enter like a Discord voice call to talk shit, but I didn't do it. I mean, I could do it for this boss, but I don't really feel like it. It's a little bit too late right now. Fuck. Hey Colo, how is it going? Oh yeah, Colo will also recognize this song. Colo is also one of those people that very quickly will recognize this. Or at least I hope you do. But yeah. You should. You can't hear shit. You will eventually, I guess. Well, assuming I can remain alive for more than 5 seconds, that is. Otherwise it's gonna be a little bit hard indeed. And not my fault that he's using the fucking shitty attack he always uses. The volume of the song is too quiet in comparison to the shots. Well, blame the maker. Let me know when you figure it out. It sounds like Mega Man, but I'm not sure. Well, you got the franchise right. I'm surprised that you don't get exactly where it plays, considering that it's probably one of the most iconic Mega Man X songs, but that's okay. I got super lucky there. Oh, I forgot to press skip. It's okay. That was the wrong call. I should have stayed in the ground. God damn it. Is this Sigma? No, it's not Sigma. Yet again with... Fuck. Only I could press skip in the middle of these annoying ass dialogues, but I can't. I'm trying. You can only do it after it gets like a pause. Was playing Valkyrie Drive yesterday and I got infinite loading screen bugs. Nice. Don't spoil my bait. I mean, it would have been a nice one. But you know, it ain't gonna work. But yeah. Unfortunately, unlike that game, this one doesn't seem like it's gonna be a boss that I can beat in like 2 attempts maximum. I remember the Mega Man vs. Zero fight to be extremely easy, regardless of who you use, because you can just tank hits like it's nothing, so that ends up making it super easy to beat. I guess you can apply that to a very big majority of Mega Man X bosses. Unless you're talking about Mega Man X Seeds. Mega Man X Seeds is a little bit fucked up in terms of the bosses. But yeah. Then again, Mega Man X Seeds is trash, so who cares? But yeah. Mega Man X5, you will have trouble with the final boss, assuming you don't get any armor and you have to do it with the default Mega Man shit. Yeah, good luck. But yeah. Need a very high IQ to like X Seeds. Of course. But yeah. Seeds. It's a shame because you have shit like Gate, that is such a cool villain in such a shit game, and also with such a... I mean, I wouldn't say the boss fight with Gate is that bad, it's just weird. Don't forget the champ that is impossible with Vanilla Edge without the dash and high champ add-ons. Wait, are you talking about X6 or are we talking about X5? I don't remember that being the case in X5. In X6? But doesn't X6 let you pick a special armor from the very beginning? Couldn't you just pick that? I mean, sure, it's shitty that you cannot do it with the full edge, but it's not like you can get soft lock. You can just pick the armor the game gives you at the beginning. I think I remember that. And I think I also refused to use that armor. I don't know if I did the whole game without the armor, or if at some point I decided to say fuck it and use it. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. Nice. At least this time it didn't open up with the yellow one or the orange. Damn, though the green one, like the RNG of that attack can make the bullet density so bad. Falcon, but not long enough, Champ. You had to use the blade armor? Really? Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah, as I say, Mega Man X6 is just a shit game all around, so not a surprise. But unfortunately, Mega Man X4 couldn't be topped. Well, in the Mega Man X series. I still think that the OG Mega Man is better. But yeah, Mega Man X4 in the Mega Man X series, it's just a very good game. It's just very well done. And it's very well done regardless of who you play as. Like, you could play as Edge or as Zero, and it's still a good game. You know? Very, very well done. I sim for X4. Yeah, I do too. I mean, to me at least, it's very clearly the best Mega Man X, without a doubt. And I think most people think the same. But I still, if I had to pick, to me games like Mega Man 9, 3 and 2 are better games. But yeah, if we're talking exclusively of Edge, then yes, it is clearly the best one. So here the bullet density is obviously extremely random, but like you can get randomly killed like it's nothing. So the same applies to this one. Oh, he changed faces? He changed faces. Nice bullet spam. Wow. And he didn't receive damage during that. Or maybe I'm... Okay, no, he seems completely invulnerable. Okay, so what he does is that he doesn't change face, but rather he decides to do an attack that is like an avoidance that you're not supposed to hit, which means I shouldn't be there, I should be at the bottom. And then he decides to go back to his usual bullshit. And judging by the fact that he did it at 2/3 of his health, he's probably gonna do it one more time and then he's gonna die. Well, that's what I predict. X5 went a bit to the shitter on the music department, but still a good game. I think the problem with X5 is that the difficulty balance is not very well done. I mean, you have the best example with this song that you're hearing now in the background. This fight that is supposed to be super epic and, you know, all that shit, it's a joke of a fight. So much of a joke that you can barely even hear the whole song. Like, you will get cut short very easily during the song. I mean, during the fight. Like, you're not gonna hear the full thing because it's such an easy fight. Yeah, the stage is harder than the fight. That's the thing that I don't like about X5. The whole game balance is screwed, unfortunately. But obviously, it's a way better game than it sits at 7 and it's 8. I have no doubt about it. But yeah, it does have its issues. Issues that I don't consider it's for having or having at that level. But yeah. You really like this attack, huh? Alright. Well, I prefer the previous one, goddamn. Why did you have to switch? Unfortunate. Sometimes it's so easy to not land on the platform. Well, regardless, judging by how the second phase of the fight is, unless I get a very lucky run, because as I said, after all, a fight like this is extremely RNG dependent. So unless I get extremely lucky, I think that this will take a long time even for tomorrow. Well, I mean, I hope that I can beat it tomorrow. Like, I will really like that. But yeah, for today, let's do it like this. I'm gonna give one more time to the second phase, and then I'm gonna stop afterwards. Whether I win or not, that will be, you know, the last attempt. But yeah, I need to get to the second phase for that. Let's just do one more second phase and then leave this task to the Gabby of tomorrow. Because this is something that I'm way more... what's the word? Like, I'm more willing to try hard this than Needle. So the fact that it's not Needle already gives me a motivation boost. See, try harding Needle, especially the Needle on the last stage of this game, is not something I find very motivating at all. But thankfully it's over. The only thing to worry about now is the final boss. So interestingly enough, this game is almost gonna take a whole week to get beaten. Because this stream is the stream number 5, and tomorrow's gonna be the stream number 6. Well, if I somehow cannot beat this guy tomorrow, it will also be an actual full week. It's more or less what I expected, just very fucked up that half of the playthrough is on the final stage. That just tells you what I already told you, that the game, the last stage is a different game. Slap and, you know, added with duct tape to the rest of the game. It's a completely different game that has nothing to do design-wise, difficulty-wise, or in any type of way to the first half. Well, except story-wise, but again, I cannot read it, so who gives a shit? And even if I could read it, also, who gives a shit? It's a story in an I Wanna Be the Guy fan game. Come on, bro. that was unfortunate. So I wonder if what I said of getting to the second phase one more time is a good idea. It's not that it's something that I can do consistently, you know? Like, I could easily take half an hour to get there. So maybe it wasn't the best thing to say, but I believe that I should get there at least in a reasonable time frame. I mean, at least one more time. It's just one more time that I need to get there for today. And even if I suck at dodging, I can just get lucky. Wow, that hit me really. The RA5 playthrough was some fun shit. You get a single thumbs up. Thanks. It was also pretty fun for me. But yeah, as I say, Resident Evil 5 to me is one of the best co-op games in the world. The fact that I beat it 5 times for now and that we are most likely gonna beat it a 6th time says wonders, indeed. Also, if you want to, you can send me your save, like the save, our save, right? Not your full SS save. You can send me our save and I can save it for you. So in case you need to do a formatting or something and you get rid of data, I can hold it for you. You know. I got no problem. I got it on the HDD too, but I will zip it and send it to you. Alright, thanks. I will make sure to take care of it. Unless my SSD dies tomorrow, which I hope not, it should be fine. Also, Yami, are you there? I got something to tell you. Well, not really. It's not important. Oh yeah. So don't worry too much about it. Oh yeah. Timid dude. Depends. Huh. No, I was just gonna tell you if tomorrow, like tomorrow, since I'm gonna be tryharding this boss, maybe I could just join the Discord shit, and maybe you could join too. I don't know. I never heard your voice, but I don't know if you are gonna be available. It will make bearing this boss more bearable. Or not, I don't know. But at least it will be funnier. Because Draenor, I think lately, he is having a normal sleep schedule. So So he's not available at this time simply because of that. Yeah. I don't know. It will be a first. And what better time than me playing your favorite category, obviously, which is I Wanna Be the Guy fan games. Obviously the thing you like the most. Surely. No, it's funny, as I say, none of my regular viewers likes I Wanna Be the Guy, pretty much. Well, except for Wasabi. But, like, no one else likes I Wanna Be the Guy. Well, not like they hate it, but yeah. I Wanna Be the Guy is something that is not very well liked among my... what's the word? My regulars. I don't wanna be the guy. I know. Yeah. I will think about it. Yeah, no problem. Though I don't know. See, I know that you cannot disclose it. I don't know how you work, in the sense that maybe you have constant meetings, or maybe you work surrounded by other people, so maybe that's something that you couldn't just go into a random voice call like it's nothing, you know? I don't know. I mean, for what I understand, you work from home, but I don't know. And also, you don't need to disclose it either. But yeah. As long as you don't leak state secrets on the voice call, it's gonna be fine. And I also wonder how, because so far, something that I'm also measuring, since I'm, you know, doing the co-op streams, and the next one is gonna be Yannick. Like, I also want to measure how well I understand what you say. Like, how well I understand each one of you. Wow, that was hard to dodge. But hey, I got to the second phase once, and I say that after that I will stop for today. So indeed, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop for today. But hey, that was a lot of progress, and the only thing left is the final boss. But hey, at least we know that this is the end of the game, so we just need to try hard very well. A lot, but it will happen, don't worry about it. Even if it somehow doesn't happen on the next stream, this asshole is gonna go down. So in any case, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream with more of this shit, so have a good one and take care.